back to Set Streets Needs, guys. I'm Chris Bauer. Today I am in Portland, Oregon, in front of Movie Madness Video. This is a very famous video store here in Portland, Oregon, kind of a staple of Portland. I'm wearing the appropriate t-shirt, which sort of appropriate. Obviously, it's the Blockbuster is a video store t-shirt, kind of the antithesis of the mom and pop video store, which is what's behind me, but nevertheless it is a video store t-shirt. We're gonna get in there and check out one of the last great video stores left in the world, really, but one of the biggest ones in the country. They have over 90,000 titles in here. They also have a huge movie memorabilia collection I can't wait to see. So let's get in there and check it out. So Movie Madness was started by a man named Mike Clark back in 1991. He was a Hollywood fan, movie memorabilia fan, going way back, and he wanted to start a video store, which he did, and he slowly built it up over time into one of the biggest video stores in the world. Most video stores back in the day had tens of thousands of titles, as I would say, but his had 90,000 titles. There's movies in here you'll never see anywhere else. If you think about all the streaming networks have 10,000 titles or whatever they have, but they'll never have as many movies that are in this building, just because most movies don't get plays, and they're not going to waste their server space with movies that don't get played. So they're constantly putting movies on, taking movies off. That's why it's always leaving soon as a section on all those streaming networks. But for movies that you can never find anywhere else, this place is invaluable for that. So it's a very important, very cool thing for video stores like this to exist, and they're incredibly rare now. You could find these places a few different cities around 15-20 years ago, but now they almost don't exist anymore. So it's really cool to be standing in one. I've never even heard of this movie. It's called Double Whammy. It's got Dennis Leary, Steve Buscemi, Elizabeth Hurley, Donald Faison, a whole bunch of people in it. Never heard of it. So back in 2018, Mike wanted to retire. The store was in danger of closing. that's when the Hollywood Theater stepped in. They are a local promoter of Hollywood history and film history and keeping, you know, the film history alive. So this was a natural fit for them. So they bought it from Mike, and it is now a not-for-profit video store. The staff here is very knowledgeable about movies, just like their theater is. And yeah, it's here in the Belmont area of Portland, which is a very cool neighborhood here in Portland. And it fits right in, of course, as it always has since the early 90s. Frank Morgan's screen use pants from Wizard of Oz. Actually played the Wizard of Oz. That's really cool. There's Phil Lamar's cutout from Pulp Fiction, where he gets his head blown off in the back of the car. That's awesome. That's such a funny scene.
Marvin, what do you make of all this?
Man, I don't even have an opinion.
Well, you gotta have an opinion. I mean, do you think that God came down from heaven and stopped him? Oh man, I shot Marvin in the face.
Loaded weapon. There's a Yoda prop. I'd be interested to know the backstory on that. Wow. Because it looks a little different. Doesn't look like a toy. Wonder if that's an original. That's pretty neat. I don't see any sign for it. Got a rosebud sled, because this is an actual prop from Citizen Kane. This was at the RKO Studio Warehouse. That's pretty cool. There's the scene it's from. Charles Foster Kane is walking into his mansion. That's awesome. And when he's sitting by the pool. Wow. It's hard to believe that's still around. Look at all of these props. Forbidden Planet saucer. We got one of the xenomorphs from Alien. Look at that. The ear from Blue Velvet. The David Lynch movie. And we got the face hugger and another one of the baby aliens. Oh, that's the carriage from Untouchables. Goes down the steps at the Chicago Union Station. Wow, what a scene. That's amazing. Dee Wallace's cat outfit, or Catwoman outfit from Halloween and E.T. Barbra Streisand's outfit from Owl and the Pussycat. Oh, check that out. The actual bar of soap from Fight Club, used to promote the movie, from David Fincher, donated right here to the video store. That's really cool. Check that out. Touch of Evil, filmed in Venice, California. And they actually have Orson Welles' suit jacket. That's awesome. From the movie. So this is one of 2 screen-used knives from Psycho. The other one's actually lost, so this is the only one left. This is the one for close-ups of the knife going into Channel A. It's hard to see with the reflection, but... So that's what would be in the close-ups of the shower. because Alfred Hitchcock didn't like trick knives. So he wanted to have it feel like it was actually stabbing her. That is really neat. That's a big piece of movie history right there. Wow. Got a Exorcist movie poster signed by William Friedkin and Linda Blair. Several autographed movie posters up top. And then they've got lots of stuff in here. Check this out. They've got one of the the screen used gun from Outlaw Juicy Whales, one of the greatest westerns ever made. That's Clint Eastwood's gun, though. That is really cool. Wow. That's awesome. Check that out. Got a chair used in Casablanca, Ingrid Bergman's chair. Guns from Casablanca. This building was one of the miniatures from Blade Runner. Time machine. Drew Barrymore's outfit from Never Been Kissed. That is awesome. Look at all these different screen-used dresses and outfits from different actresses. Natalie Wood, Ann Miller, Danny Kaye, Madonna, Ginger Rogers. Tons of them. It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Wow. There's a phone from Chinatown, used in Chinatown. A can of split pea soup, signed by Linda Blair. That's kind of funny. From The Exorcist. A gear representing Charlie Chaplin from Modern Times. Oh, this was a gear prop used from the movie. Wow. It's one of the earliest memories I have of watching movies on old projectors at home was Modern Times with Charlie Chaplin, where he's caught in the gears and he's going over those gears over and over and getting sucked back out on the assembly line. That's really cool. He's got one of the gears. Horror directors. Then we have horror series. Right under a Mars Attacks Martian. Oh, this was actually made by Industrial Light and Magic. That's cool. Julian Sands, he just died not too long ago. Cold. That's awesome. Riff Tracks, Mystery Science Theater. I haven't heard of most of these. Planet Wars. Oh, The Room. If you've never seen that movie, treat yourself. It's bad and it's awesome.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Vigilante justice, that's definitely its own category. White trash. Yahweh is angry. Trailers. Rampaging teenagers. The horror section has about 40 subsections. So now I'm going to do a montage of the crazy subsection names. huge amount of cult films, cult actors, cult directors. Even have a European horror section and even more statues. And even a throwback to the old adult rooms. They have an adult themed 3-foot section. That's hilarious. So I did produce a segment of a horror anthology. Well, a couple, but I don't see the Volumes of Blood one. Just several years ago. And there was another one called, what was it called? 1031. Oh, here. Yep, there it is. Look at that. They got that one. We did like a monster segment. Yeah, that's pretty cool. They got that one. Awesome. My director was John Holt, and there's Jason Turner's name. He was the one that wrote it. He's our writer. There it is. We made that in Kentucky, and here it is, a video store in Portland, Oregon. Small world. And then they have a bizarre section too. Ooh. The weird stuff. Oh, they have a blaxploitation section and spaghetti westerns. That's pretty cool. Oh, Airport. I used to love those movies. I made like 3 of these. Airport 77, 78. The Airport Terminal Pack. So they also have a screening room here. You can actually rent it. It's always playing something, but you can actually rent it and have a little movie marathon with your friends and family. I actually have really nice seats. It's pretty cool. This is awesome. This is the Screen used knife from the original Scream movie in '96. Wes Craven's Scream. You can actually see the blood pack that's taped around the handle. A little blood residue still. That's really cool. Wow. How cool is that? That's awesome. That's cool. Mary Pickford's hairpiece. Wow. Huh. Julie Andrews. Her dress from Sound of Music. That's awesome. Faye Dunaway's dress from Bonnie and Clyde.
It's really good. It's like, he's like I think he's a hitman for hire, but he works for kind of some crime syndicate. And it's basically like the syndicate.
New releases. That's cool. It's hard to believe there's still that much new releases. I know the guy that made that one. The Barn, Part 2. That's pretty neat.
Well, I would imagine that would be
Comic book. Classic sci-fi horror. Hammer films. I like that. That's cool. Oh, this is cool. Fantasy, Leviathan and Behemoths. That's cool. Jaws, Tremors, sci-fi anime. That's awesome. In the classic section. Silent films. Look at all the silent films they have. Musicals, classic actors, and classics. Wow. We always did this at Blockbuster. When I worked there, we would have employee picks where each employee had a shelf and you could curate what you thought were good picks. Which is always a fun thing to do. This is a cool idea too. Community, you can come in and suggest titles. That's really cool. Because you might find something really cool.
That's true.
That's pretty neat. They got a ton of new arrivals.
Tumbling all the way through, spiral, like a toy railroad train, up and down over and over again. Well, the thing has some purpose.
All these old statues and busts up top. And then, of course, you can buy several different items, like a videotape, Tattertainment on VHS, whatever that is, socks, a candle, art prints, which are cool, Movie Madness tote, that's neat. We got hats and t-shirts, awesome glasses. Those are pretty cool. It's really cool if you don't know what to rent. Just dip into the pumpkin, looking for a scary movie. Dip in and pull one out. And then go find it. That's pretty awesome. Good idea.
You do look kind of pale there, Ken.
Well, not being local, I couldn't really rent any of those awesome movies, so I went ahead and bought a beanie to help support them, and got on out of there. So that was a pretty cool trip down memory lane. I know I've spent more than my fair share of time at video stores, not only just renting movies, but I've worked in a couple in my life. During high school, I worked at Michigan Video, and then after in college, I worked at Blockbuster, of course. And then, of course, renting movies was a massive part of the 80s and 90s for me, as it was for many of you. Video renting, there was a whole thing about it. It wasn't just, and I think that's the thing. Yes, I'm a big streamer. I think most people are. Streaming movies is extremely convenient. I totally get why that was. I remember talking about that when I worked at Blockbuster in college, that was the future. Netflix was already out at that point, but Netflix was just DVDs. I remember telling people, like, we won't be renting DVDs in the near future. It's going to be all streaming. But the community, like most things, community gets taken out of everything. There was a community thing about going to the video store where you're standing there on the video aisle and, two people reach for the same movie, or the movie next to you, or somebody comments when you grab a movie and you say, "Oh, I just saw that. It's awesome." "Oh, really?" And you start talking about it. That was every time you went to the video store. Or, you walk in, you ask the clerk, "Hey, what's hot right now? Or what's good right now? What's everybody watching?" Or, everybody had a say, and you talked to people about movies. Granted, an algorithm does that now. It's not the same. It really isn't. And an algorithm only suggests things that you like. It never really gets outside of that bubble. You don't really discover things like you do when you talk to other people about movies. So that's really the loss of the video store. The video store was the community where you talked about films and talked about, just art, really, in that form. It's kind of like the comic book shop. Yeah, you can go read comics online, but there's nothing like New Comic Book Day when you walk in and you're reading you know, you're looking at the new comics and the guys are all sitting at the table talking about, you know, what's going on in Thor or what's going on in Spider-Man or Superman, and you're listening in or you're interacting in the conversation. You know, these are community things that are going away because we are making things easier with streamlining and the internet and all of that. You know, that's kind of what my channel is about, is, you know, we're getting rid of all these things to make things more convenient, but I think it's actually the thing that is the problem with our country right now. We are always talking about how divided we are, but it's actually because we don't talk anymore. We don't talk to people. We don't interact with each other anymore because we have found ways, all these little things like renting a video and buying comic books and you know, grocery shopping without doing it online and just having it loaded in the back of our car by someone else. All these things where we used to talk to people in little spurts, we've taken those out of our lives. So we make sure we never interact with other people. So it's easier to hate someone else when you never see their point of view or hear their point of view or talk to their, you know, or hear what they have to say. I know that's kind of off subject, but it's all tied together, I think. Video stores have a way of doing that. It brings people together. If there's one thing that we can all agree on, that, you know, movies are a thing that we can disagree on but still love them. But we can also agree that we all love movies. You know, there's a lot of things to love about movies and TV and entertainment, and video stores had a way of unifying us. I don't know, I feel like you could almost tie the demise of our unity to the extinction of video stores. Words to think about. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Set Streets and Eats, and we'll see you on down the road.